Hi, it's Cyndi. So it's come to my attention that most of you don't know who I am, and that's probably on purpose by the Holy Spirit. But this is a new season, and I felt like today that He asked me to start publicly casting the vision. So I thought I'd make a little video and post on my webpage about who I am. Well, that's a complicated question, isn't it? Who are we? I can only tell you what God says about me. And I want you to understand that as I share this information with you, it's not to brag or to boast in any way, because my life has been difficult and it's been glorious all at the same time, as most of our lives are. God says that I am His apostle or His prophet. I prefer to use the term apostolic prophet, but you rarely hear me say that. Even when I minister or people ask me what I do and who I am, I normally just say I'm a missionary, because they kind of understand that. And not many people understand what it's like to walk in the offices of apostle and prophet in the earth today. And quite frankly, most of my life has been spent in hiddenness. So why am I telling you today? I feel like it's time. It's not that I've actually hidden who I was. It's just that it seemed to be God had me in a season of hiddenness for my own protection and my family's protection. So I tell you today that I'm not one of those prophets that just appeared on the scene in the last 4 or 5 years and wow, their word is sound. I like them. I listen to them all. But I am old by now, shall we say. I don't mind telling you, I am 59 this year and will be 60 in 2021. I was baptized in the Spirit in 1984, of May the 4th, 1984. I was raised in a Christian home, though we had our difficulties going through divorce and other things. In the 60s and the 70s, this was a really wild and hard time to be alive. And I was saved as a Baptist. I loved my Baptist church. But what I learned from them was pretty much just Bible stories and sugar cookies and red Kool-Aid, going to camp. I got to interview a few missionaries and listen to their story, and it impacted me greatly. But it wasn't enough of the power of God for what God had called me to. So I spent the next, from 1984 till now, what is that, 35, 40 years, growing in the Lord, learning how to hear His voice, setting myself apart unto Him. And as most people will tell you, I have a pretty sound gifting from God. I've laid hands on many, and I've seen many miracles happen through prayer and intercession. I've spoken in many conferences, and I've traveled all around the world. Most of the time, I seem to be what they would call a forerunner of the forerunner, or the one who gathers the ministers and the missionaries, the worship leaders, the intercessors that don't know they are yet, the little groups all over everywhere of the misfit toys that the church didn't have the time for. You know, often prophets and apostles have a very hard road in the earth, and if you want to read about it, there's a couple of great books about it. I really like John Eckhart's book called Prophets Arise. Boy, he is right on with what it's like to be a prophet. Rick Joyner has a bunch. Mike Bickle has a bunch. There's just so many people that have written about prophecy. But the truth is, it's not what you do, it's who you are. I always tell people this, you know, Billy Graham and Hitler both had a dynamic gift. They could move multitudes of people to listen to them. They were known for it all over the world. But Hitler chose the dark path, and Billy Graham chose the light of Jesus Christ. And you too have a gift that God has placed within you. I didn't know what my gifts were. God sovereignly touched me. And I'm sure you can find my testimony somewhere. If you'd like, just message me on here and I'll get it to you. It was wild and it was dramatic. And I didn't even know what had happened to me. You know, at that time, I was a young girl of around 23, I think, 21 to 23, and I was in the Episcopal Church. And God sovereignly moved on my life in such a supernatural manifestation and appeared to me. Jesus appeared to me. But I can promise you this, I was a wreck. I was a wreck. I was nowhere near ready for the path God had chosen me. Perhaps that's why he spent 30 or 40 years honing my gifting, honing how I hear his voice. So I just want to say hi from the hidden place. I'm Cyndi.